mentions the story in the Quran from here onwards. You see everything I told you about the man and how he was generous, then he died, then they inherited. All that wasn't mentioned in the Quran. In the Quran, Allah began the story from where the sin began. Where did the sin begin? Allah Azza wa Jal said, Ashab al-Jannah, إِذْ أَقْسَمُوا لَيَصْرِمُنَّهَا مُصْبِحِينَ. One day, khalas, their father's gone, they own this garden. One night, they gathered together, the brothers, and they did qasam. إِذْ أَقْسَمُوا لَيَصْرِمُنَّهَا مُصْبِحِينَ وَلَا يَسْتَثْنُونَ. They said, listen, khalas, uqsam billah, tomorrow morning, we're going to go and harvest and cut down the fruit from the trees. And they said, لَيَصْرِمُنَّهَا. You see, in Arabic, you would have said, لَيَقْطَعُنَّهَا, لَيَقْطَفُنَّهَا, to harvest, to pick fruit. That's what we say, we picked fruit from the tree. That's the verb that should be used. Look at the verb they used, لَيَصْرِمُنَّهَا. As-saram is to pick and cut something intensely. As-sarm implies that I'm going to harvest every single fruit on the tree and I'm going to pick everything on the ground and leave nothing behind. That's what لَيَصْرِمُنَّهَا means. مُصْبِحِينَ, in the morning. وَلَا يَسْتَثْنُونَ. And they did not make any exception. Meaning they said, it's all going to be for us and no one is going to get a single fruit. No one at all. وَلَا يَسْتَثْنُونَ. Look at that. That's greed. That's stinginess. That's the thing they had in their heart against their dad the whole time. Now, payback time. Frustration is being released from their heart and we need to now make up for all those years that our father was generous with this business and this garden of ours. We hate the poor, we hate the needy. Allahu Akbar. وَلَا يَسْتَثْنُونَ also means, and they did not say insha'Allah. Yani they didn't say, Wallahi, we're going to pick the fruits tomorrow, insha'Allah. They didn't say that. They didn't say insha'Allah. What does that mean? That's now arrogance. They didn't even think to mention Allah. Because when you say insha'Allah, that's humility, right? You're humble. It's like you know and you acknowledge things are in the hands of Allah. If I said to you, brother, Wallahi, I'll be at your house tomorrow 10 in the morning, insha'Allah. That's humility. Yani, Ana ya akhi, wallahi, I'm just a weak slave. I don't know. If Allah wills, inshallah, I'll be there. If not, maybe I can't be there. So you've acknowledged your affairs are in the control of Allah. So look at the arrogance here. They did not say insha'Allah. They said, Uqsim billah, tomorrow we're going to harvest the farm, pick every fruit from the tree, from the ground, and we're not going to give anyone anything. And we're not saying inshallah, because it's going to happen the way we want. Look at that. Allahu Akbar. Arrogance, stinginess, all together in one package. وَلَا يَسْتَثْنُونَ. All right. They've made their intention, they've spoken their plan, and they went to sleep. They went to sleep. Khalas, tomorrow morning we're going to implement what we want. You know what the next ayah is? فَطَافَ عَلَيْهَا طَائِفٌ مِّن رَبِّكَ وَهُمْ نَائِمُونَ. Immediately, the garden was struck by an intense punishment from your Lord while they were asleep. طَائِفٌ. Allah sent a ta'if up to their garden. You know what ta'if means? It comes from the word tawaf. Tawaf means to do circles around the Kaaba. That's tawaf. In other words, the type of punishment that Allah sent is a type of punishment that was going in circles, like a hurricane, a tornado, maybe a water spout, or a fire tornado, a whirlwind, something that was going around like this, alayha, upon all of it. وَهُمْ نَائِمُونَ. And ta'ifun, see this tanween, the tanween, that implies that it was an intense punishment, the likes that no one had ever seen before in the town. Look at the punishment of Allah Azza wa Jal. And the ayah suggests فَطَافَ عَلَيْهَا طَائِفٌ مِّن رَبِّكَ وَهُمْ نَائِمُونَ, that not a single fruit and a tree remained in sight. Because Allah said فَأَصْبَحَتْ كَالصَّرِيمِ. It became like as-sarim. As-sarim means the darkest part of the night. You know the darkest part of the night, can you see anything? No. So that means that's why some ulama said it was a fire tornado. Because it became so black, burnt, Not a single tree or a fruit in sight. All of it gone. Allah took it all. But pay attention. Allah Azza wa Jal said, فَطَافَ عَلَيْهَا what? طَائِفٌ مِّن رَبِّكَ. This is an ayah of intense punishment, right? We would have expected that the most appropriate name of Allah be used is a name that indicates to Allah's strength and might and power. We would have expected فَطَافَ عَلَيْهَا طَائِفٌ مِّنَ اللَّهِ فَطَافَ عَلَيْهَا طَائِفٌ مِّنَ الْعَزِيزِ فَطَافَ عَلَيْهَا طَائِفٌ مِّنَ الْقَوِيِّ. He didn't say that. He said مِّن رَبِّكَ. And مِّن رَبِّكَ is opposite to these meanings. The word Ar-Rabb, it's packed with compassion and mercy and care and gentleness. So it's like what is being said, the most merciful, your merciful Lord, your compassionate Lord, your kind Lord, your gentle Lord sent a punishment upon them. What do we understand from that? We understand that if Allah Azza wa Jal was to send down a punishment onto some property of yours and you're still alive, then that is Allah's care for you. That's Allah's love for you, so that you can wake up and change your ways and habits and turn to Allah in repentance and seek His forgiveness and go to that which pleases Him. So yes, it's an intense punishment that burnt their garden, but Allah did this to nurture them, to raise them, to teach them, to guide them. So maybe they wake up to themselves and say, oh, what happened here? Maybe they can wake up to themselves. Let's see, let's continue. Let's see if they did wake up to themselves or not. فَطَافَ عَلَيْهَا طَائِفٌ مِّن رَبِّكَ وَهُمْ نَائِمُونَ فَأَصْبَحَتْ كَالصَّرِيمِ. And this is, they're all sleeping. They got no clue what happened to their garden. فَتَنَادَوْا مُصْبِحِينَ. So the next morning arrived and they all woke up in the very early hours of the morning. مُصْبِحِينَ تَنَادَوْا. They began to call each other. Hey brother, yalla, get up. Yalla, wake up. We're going to go, Bismillah, inshallah, to the garden. Yalla, we're still on the plan, right? فَتَنَادَوْا مُصْبِحِينَ. But what did they call one another? What did they say? أَنِ اغْدُوا عَلَى حَرْثِكُمْ إِن كُنْتُمْ صَارِمِينَ. أَنِ اغْدُوا, al-ghudu. Let's go out early morning at Fajr time. Yalla. عَلَى حَرْثِكُمْ. Let's go to our harvest. Let's go to our garden. إِن كُنْتُمْ صَارِمِينَ. If you people want to go and collect and pick the fruits, yalla, we got to go now. All right. They all got up, they dressed, they're ready. Allah said, فَانْطَلَقُوا. They set out of their homes in the early hours of the morning. وَهُمْ يَتَخَافَتُونَ. And as they are walking to their garden, they did those silently, secretly, and they began to whisper to one another. يَتَخَافَتُونَ. From the word khafi, and khafi means something hidden. So they began to whisper. What did they whisper to one another? أَلَّا يَدْخُلَنَّهَا الْيَوْمَ عَلَيْكُمْ مِسْكِينٌ. They said to each other, make sure, not a single poor person enters the garden with us today. This is what they are. Secretly whispering to one another. And you know, when someone whispers to someone's ear, most likely he's whispering something that's evil, a crime. The criminal doesn't speak out loud. The one who intends a sin doesn't speak out loud. He puts someone to the side, listen. When he leaves, we'll do 1, 2, 3. When you whisper, you're most likely speaking something evil. You're most likely backbiting someone. You're doing something bad. So this is what they're doing. But you know what's beautiful? They are whispering. So in other words, in their mind, no one heard us except us three. Allah Azza wa Jal from above 7 heavens heard them. And He recorded the story in the Quran and told us exactly what they were whispering. And look at the stinginess and greed in their heart that they said not a single miskin will enter. They did not say, أَلَّا يَدْخُلَنَّهَا الْيَوْمَ عَلَيْكُمْ مَسَاكِينَ. Don't allow the poor people to enter. They said not a single poor person is going to enter. Why just one? Just one I don't want to see in sight. What type of stinginess is this? What type of greed is this? We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to save us. Let's see what happens. وَغَدَوْا عَلَى حَرْدٍ قَادِرِينَ. Yalla, they set off على حرد. They set off to their garden while in a state of hard. قَادِرِينَ, thinking that they are able to execute whatever plan they want. Now what is interesting is the word hard. Hard is a very unique, interesting word. It comes once in the Quran, only here. And it tells us a lot about the attitude they carried in their heart when they left the home going towards the garden. Hard, my brothers in Islam, it means something to be hard. So they say like al-harid. Al-harid is fish jerky. You know fish jerky? It's like fresh fish that has been dried up and it becomes like in squares, boxes, shapes. And it's very tough. It's like beef jerky. That's hard, means something that's hard. Also hard, they say haradat al-ibil, meaning the cow, its udder has dried up. There's no more milk. So if you come and squeeze the teats of the camel, there's no milk. That's hard. So far hard means something tough, hard, strong. It also means something that is dry. And it also means anger, resentment, hate. So ala hardin, telling us that when they left the house, they left the house and their heart was dry from mercy and compassion. There's no mercy, there's no compassion for the poor, for the needy. And they came out with anger in their heart, frustration, and they had this really tough heart towards the masakeen. And you know the language structure of the ayah, when Allah said وَغَدَوْا عَلَى حَرْدٍ قَادِرِينَ, the language structure of the ayah suggests that the only reason they came out of their house was hatred against the poor, the needy, and so that they can execute their stinginess and evil and greed the way they want. The language of the ayah suggests that they only left their house because of that. Yani, you know, so when you go, for example, to work, when you go to the shops, you go because you have a genuine need from there. But you want to go to buy something to come. And they didn't leave their house to the garden because they had a genuine need. They need to top up the provisions at home, the fruits and the vegetables. No, the ayah is suggesting they already had. But they're going out just so that they can deny the masakeen and the poor access. They went out just to feel how greed and stinginess looks like. That's horrible. That's why the heart was tough. وَغَدَوْا عَلَى حَرْدٍ قَادِرِينَ فَلَمَّا رَأَوْهَا. They walked. Eventually they got to the garden and they saw it. فَلَمَّا رَأَوْهَا. They said to one another, إِنَّا لَضَالُّونَ. They said to one another, we're lost. Ya Ammi, did we lose the way? They're thinking that they've gone to the wrong address because they couldn't recognize the garden. But then they said to each other, I mean, we walk straight, we leave our house, we take a right, a left, we go straight, and this is it, this is the address. I think we've lost the way. So one of them said, no, like we're in the right address. This is our garden. بَلْ نَحْنُ مَحْرُومُونَ. You don't get it. We've been deprived. Allah has burnt our garden. He deprived us. بَلْ نَحْنُ مَحْرُومُونَ. Mahrumun comes from the word haram. Allah has made our provision, our garden haram upon us. Khalas, it's gone. What do we do? Look at this, Allahu Akbar. Look at the justice of Allah Azza wa Jal. He gave them a punishment that is equal to their crime. What was their crime? Their crime that they did not want to give a single poor person or a needy person anything at all. So Allah did not give them anything at all. Not even one fruit remained on the floor, like half burnt, nothing, all of it gone. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to save us from stinginess and greed. Look at its punishment. It was in this worldly life. What did they benefit?